Hi everyone, this is Alex Friedrich, your macroeconomics instructor. Today I'm going to take you on a little tour of our D2L site to give you an idea of how the course is structured, get you familiar with it so you can work more quickly and efficiently. So when you start here, you'll see the course title. Of course, yours might look a little different from this, but pretty much the format is the same. We're going to focus on two areas of this site. First is materials, and then assessments. We'll also talk a little bit about communications. If we go over here to materials, you'll get to the guts of the site, and that's under content. And if you click on here, you'll see something that's called the table of contents, which shows you kind of the breakdown week by week, which chapter we'll be covering. I'd like you to take a look here at the overview. This will just sort of give you an introduction from me, how to reach me, and also focus on the structure of each week. This is going to tell you all the things you need to do. It's pretty self-explanatory, pretty simple and straightforward, but it's a sort of a checklist to make sure that you're on top of things. It'll give you some tips for success, and also talk a little bit about the organization and the schedule. One thing I really want you to memorize is this right here, the fact that just about everything that you have to do is going to be due Monday at 11:55 p.m., which is the day after the week that you've covered the material. So for example, if we were to start a chapter today on a Monday, it would be due the next Monday at 11:55 p.m. That's so that if the case there are any last minute questions on that next Monday during the work week, I'll be able to help you out. It'll also give you some information about the videos, a little philosophy, things like that. So check that out first. And again, make sure you are familiar with the structure of each week and what's due. Now over here, you've got Sapling online homework, and we'll talk about that in a little bit later. This is the link that you'll be clicking on to access that. I want you to focus on this right here, though, and that is basically the instructions on how to set up your course and pay for it. You'll also see that you'll need both an access code, which is going to be on the card that you get from the bookstore or from the publisher if you buy it online. You're also going to need a key code, which puts you into a particular course. I've got 3 different macro courses running this semester, for example, so I want to make sure that you're in the right one. Go ahead and take a look at this right here. You'll also see this is a walkthrough on how to set up an account. We'll kind of open that up right here. And so this should give you a pretty good idea of what your screen should look like as you walk through the process. If there are any problems, let me know about it, but it should be fairly straightforward. So let's go back here. So that's basically Sapling. Again, now Sapling is going to be what you use for homework. Everything else is going to be here on D2L. One thing though, when you do go to Sapling, try to go through this link right here so that it recognizes you. The next thing is the syllabus. Right now, you'll see a full-scale syllabus here. It's like 9 to 12 pages long. But that's right here. What you're going to want to probably start with, what most of you will need to use, is this right here, the summary. It's a 1-page summary. Everything you're going to need to know, just about everything, the most important things, the most frequently asked for things, is going to be right here. Points, deadlines, things about it, policies regarding emergencies, deadlines, office hours, everything's right there. So I know your average syllabus is pretty dense, but certainly I'm sure you can find time to read this 1-pager. You can use it as reference, or probably the best thing to do is to read it once before you start the class to make sure you know what you're getting into and what the policies are. All right, so that's the introductory stuff. Let's take a look here at week 1, which starts, of course, January 14th. Notice here, this is when the date that it starts. Each module or chapter runs about a week. Here's going to be the most important concepts. So these are the most important things you're going to be quizzed and tested on. So make sure you read the whole thing and in the book, and when you take a look at the lecture notes and things. But focus on these particular elements. Now this first week you'll be reading chapter 1, the interconnected economy, but also for those of you who need it, take a look at the little appendix about the introduction to graphs. if it's been a while since you've done any sort of a graphing, and we're not going to do anything complicated, but if it's been a while, take a look at that. You won't be graded on it, but you'll see some graphing videos and graphing exercises that you can do on your own just to get yourself back up to speed. Now, you're going to find this at the top of every module. You'll also see lecture notes, which are basically the same slides and things that I use in class, which is going to be sort of an abbreviated form of what I use, and it'll give you a chance to really kind of hone in on the kinds of stuff that I talk about. So, let's see here. If you take a look down here, you'll find in the, here we go, the first chapter, you'll see general videos, and each week you're going to be taking a look at a number of different videos. Might be by the author, or it might be third-hand videos from YouTube. Most of them are like 2 or 3 minutes long. Some may be a little longer, 5 to 7 minutes or so, but really fairly small stuff. Some are technical, for example, from Khan Academy that talk to you about how to graph. Others are just about the principles of economics. Most of them have pretty high production values, and they're pretty fun to watch. So you've got plenty of these. Take a look at them. This will be sort of your way of getting lectured when you're not in class. You've got some, again, stuff about videos and other online activities regarding graphing for those who need it. And at the very end, you're going to see here quizzes. If you've got a quiz or a test to take any particular week, you can take it right here. It also tells you when it starts and when it ends. You'll be getting a quiz. It is going to be once a week, 10 questions, 15 minutes long on that particular chapter, and then tests are like 4 quizzes back to back. All the information you need to know is in the syllabus. The first week, this week, you're going to have just one assignment in addition to your homework, and that's going to be an essay called Introduce Yourself. It's going to have to be in by this date, which I believe is 11:59 p.m. next Monday, and I need you to fill this out. Just tell me a little bit about yourself. Very easy stuff, and I need to grade it to make sure that the people who've joined up are actually taking part in the course. So if you don't do this, I may have to drop you from the class. So make sure you get this done in time. So that's your main thing. Get this done your first week and start reading chapter 1, and make sure that you get signed up for Sapling. Now, I know the first week is pretty difficult, kind of chaotic. So what I've done is although you've got chapter 1 and chapter 2 do the first 2 weeks, you won't have to do any of that until, I believe it is here we go, the 28th. So the homework and the quiz deadlines are not going to be next week, but the week after, 20th. So I'm giving you 2 weeks to do that material just to give you maximum flexibility. So again, as you go through here, you will see lots of different materials. You see some documents here to kind of help you out, and you'll see stuff for a quiz. So again, fairly straightforward. Just make sure that you stay on top of things. If you're not quite sure what to do in what order, go ahead and take a look at the overview, which should give you an idea. Now, one thing I want you to keep in mind, though, is it doesn't really matter whether you read the book first or watch the videos first or do a little of each as you go through. Do what works for you. You will, however, find that a lot of times I will have little notes in the little sections here on various videos, and so it's generally a good idea to read these because it'll give you an idea. Perhaps you might need to start the video somewhere in the middle, so it'll tell you where to start and perhaps where to stop. And it might give you an idea of, hey, the video, because it's not done by the publisher, might use terminology that you're not familiar with. Don't worry about these words. Or it might say, hey, the term this person's using is actually, it means this in our book. So it's a way to sort of translate some of this verbiage into terms that you know. Right? So that's essentially it. And you'll find sections, for example, for the final test and for the midterm. You can see spring break right there, and you'll find the midterm is going to fall in somewhere around here. Now, take a look at assessments. All right? Assessments, That's where you're going to find information on quizzes if you need to take a look at when they're due. You'll also find here your grades if you haven't done this already. And you'll find, just a sec here, these are going to be your grades. Okay, that's how you can look them up. And what I'd like you to do is take a look at assessments where it says assignments. When you need to do your introduction, you can put it in here, or you can go back to chapter 1 and put it in that little Dropbox, or whatever you call it, right here. Click on that and put it in. Make sure it's just 150 words long. Follow these instructions. Just answer these questions. Add a little bit more. Tell me about yourself, and we're good to go. All right. Now, finally, if you want to communicate with me, all right, all the information you need is in the syllabus. But also, what I'd like you to do, if you have a question about the way the course is formatted, or about the terminology or the content, anything like that, go to discussions here, and you'll notice there are two little areas for discussion. One is for questions about the class. That means, the syllabus, the tests, kind of the mechanics of the course. And this is about questions and concepts, so the content of it itself. So chances are, if you've got a question, lots of other people have it as well. So it'll be a lot more efficient, and I'll be checking this every day. If you go ahead, or several times a day, if you go ahead and put something in here, someone else, if you can see it, will be able to answer the question. So if you see somebody who's written something down, has a question you know the answer to, feel free to go ahead and answer so everyone can benefit. And then if it looks like folks are having a problem, I'll step in and give you the answer to it myself. Okay, so once you've got a look at this, do understand I'm always going to be around. Feel free to give me an email. If it's really urgent, you can go ahead and give me a call or give me a text, but try to save that for emergencies. Now, to go to Sapling, I figured I'd go ahead and give you a little run through there. Sapling here, I think once you get it set up, it should look something like this. Now, yours is going to look a little different because this is the teacher view. Notice that I have put the deadline for chapter 1 and 2 on January 28th. All right, you'll see the various homework assignments here. Okay, what I'd like you to do, though, however, is before you actually start them, take a look at this right here. Here's a video about the introduction to Sapling Learning, so you get an idea of what to use, how to use it. And use this one, using tools in Sapling Learning. It's basically, it runs you through all the different types of problems you'll encounter. So it'll give you a chance to get familiar with the format. And you want to be familiar with the format of all the questions so that you're not surprised when you actually start working on this for points. So when you start on chapter 1's homework, you don't want to lose, for example, any points because you're confused and answered the question in the wrong way. Make your mistakes using the tools in Sapling Learning exercise, and then you'll be able to go on and do really well on the homework. So that's essentially it. If you have any questions, feel free to give me a call. Remember, the main thing you need to do is get your book, start reading, get signed up for Sapling, and then do that that little introductory essay for me, and you'll be good to go. And always, if you have any questions, take a look at the syllabus, and you can also take a look at the overview as well. So thanks a lot, good luck, and let's have a great semester.